Okay, today we're going to be looking at this knife. It's a ZT-0350 CB. That's a knife made by Kershaw. I have this Kershaw tie right here just for comparison. This is a box. The ZT boxes all look pretty similar. And it's sort of Kershaw's military or professional commercial line, whatever you want to call it. They say it's their combat knives, and essentially what they are is they're real heavy duty, thick, not particularly trying to save on weight design. You're not going to see much in the way of these crazy clips and stuff on the ZT line that you get sometimes on the Kershaws. So let's run over a few specs on the knife. Paper here, got it. So don't say anything wrong. This one is the 0350 CB, and the CB stands for composite blade. You can see that right here. This knife is a limited run. It's supposed to be around 900, so it's like a sprint run basically of the 0350, which I think comes standard with the S30V blade. There's lots of good reviews on that. Let's see, NYC Dave, I think he has one on the 350. I'm pretty sure he has one. And a lot of other people have done reviews on that knife. This knife does have the speed safe, so it's spring loaded. So you really don't have to flick it. I mean, it just flies out of there. But you know, because of having knives that aren't assisted, you know, many of us just get in the habit of flicking our wrists, and so I do that a little bit. The blade, you've got your dual thumb studs, which are fine. You can open it with the thumb studs just fine. I prefer to use the flipper on flipper knives. It's just the habit I've gotten into, and it seems to work a lot better for me generally. Some of you guys with the big hands can do whatever, but for me with my smaller hands, the flipper's always, you know, my preference there. Alright, let's look at the blade here. You can see that you've got the bonded two steels here. The blade is L-Max steel. According to the website, it's a high chromium steel. It's supposed to be very corrosion resistant, which I like because I don't like worrying about corrosion. It's supposed to have very good edge retention. I've heard rumors that other companies might start using that steel, possibly Spyderco. I don't know if that's true or not, but I've heard that. It's a what they call a powder steel, so I think that the molecules are much smaller or something when they combine it, and they can make it harder. And you know, I didn't really get into a whole lot of the technical stuff, but so far it seems extremely sharp, and the edge on it, I mean, I've, you know, just been messing around cutting cardboard and paper and stuff like we all do when we get a new knife to try it, and it just seems extremely sharp still. So far I've liked it. The main part of the blade is just the Sandvik steel. That's the 14C28N, which I don't have a problem. I like that steel. It's on several of the knives I own. I think it's a little bit more flexible steel, fairly corrosion resistant. So you've got your so-called super steel on the blade and then the regular steel up here, so that's going to save on some of the cost, I think, and give a little better flex overall. The blade length is a 3.25 inch. So it's pretty similar to the Tirade, maybe a little bit smaller there, I guess. Yeah, a little bit smaller. This is probably 3.5. This is 3.25. And it's pretty thick. Pretty thick blade on there. These ZT knives are workhorses, basically. The scales are the G10. It feels a lot like the Tirade to me and some of the other knives I own that I really like the Chill. I really like the feel of that scales on that one. It's just perfect, you know, really not too much. Putting it in and out of my pocket, it's a little bit rougher on my pocket. But not too much. I mean, it hasn't tore the material or anything. And this is really more my defense blade. I don't pull this thing out every 5 minutes to open a box or something. I've got my little knife for that. So the handle length's 4.6 inches. Overall length is 7.75 inches. The liners are stainless 410, I think. Though I think all the liner is 410, but the lock for sure is 410. And they've got the weight at about 5.6 ounces, which seems about right. You know, to me it doesn't feel that heavy, but you know, it's weird how some knives will feel heavier than they are, some will feel lighter. But just overall, you know, handling the knife and stuff, my wife's tried it, my daughter's tried it, they really like the feel of it and everything, and it doesn't feel that overly heavy to them, so I really like the clip. Just simple, functional, does the job. I did bend it just slightly out because I felt like it was a bit too tight the way I was using it. But overall, just a great knife. I'd say it compares pretty favorably to the Tirade. Tirade's a little bigger. My wife was looking at them both and she said she still likes this one better, so I guess this will be her knife for the big knife, and I'll probably have this one usually. Seems like I should have the big one. I don't know what that's about, but she likes carrying this one. So, alright, so overall I like it a lot. Oh, yeah, I guess we could do a cut test. I've got my paper here. So. What the heck, huh? Trying to do a pattern cut here. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty sharp. When I first got it, I was trying it on newspaper. Pretty nice. Anyway, if you've given a thought to getting that one, I don't know that it's, you know, so much better than just getting a regular 0350, but I thought it would be fun to get it since it was a limited run. I've been trying not to spend as much money on knives and gear and stuff lately, but I haven't been doing so good on that. What the heck? Oh well. See you later. Close-up look at the scales and the blade. It's your lanyard hole. I forgot to mention the jimping on this thing is some serious jimping. I mean, they are not fooling around with that jimping. That will grab into your thumb and it won't let go. Yeah. Nice finish work for my eyes. I have not seen any defects or anything on it. Kind of got paper all over the blade there. Messing around with it. Number 17. Sweet. Got your back spacer solid in there. Now, I often find these liner locks a lot better, easier to work on the bigger knives. Sometimes on those little knives they're just too much for some reason. They're so small to get your thumb on for such a small knife. That's why I often reduce the tension on them. This knife's just perfect. It's just haven't done a thing to it and it just functions flawlessly for me so far. Yeah, blade centering, you're always going to be slightly off with liner locks. You know, you could have them get it perfect if you want, and some people are going to want to do that. For me, it's not important for this particular kind of a knife. Made in the USA. That's what I'm talking about.